Good morning. We're out in the rain. Didn't really want to come out because the forecast was awful rain, and it wasn't wrong. As you can see, after bad weather you can often get really good light, so just need to make sure that we haven't got any horrible raindrops on the front. Everything else covered, focused on the pier. I'm going to go for should go for 4 minutes, but I'm not. I'm going to go for 2. That light is rising, but what a beautiful sky. So I'm just holding this umbrella high up because it's just doing nothing but rain. It's absolutely torrential at times. So hey, good morning. Dillied and dallied because as I lay in bed after the alarm had gone, the rain was torrential. It was absolutely banging down, and there isn't a single break out there. There's loads of little tiny pockets, tiny holes in that sky, and it's just letting some of that golden and magenta tinge light through. So I'm so pleased I did come out. I'm at F14, so I may not get any stars on those lights, but it was a case of making a decision. Do I normally stay at 16 and get them, or drop it down just a touch? And yeah, that looks gorgeous. We want to be in the absolute centre. It's 20 each side, so therefore that should be approximately in the middle. Looks about right. I think I want to be a lot lower. F16. We'll focus. Third of the way in. Slightly touch more than the third of the way in. And there we go. Oh, that light is absolutely superb. It is beautiful. So fingers crossed we've been able to capture this. I can still hear the rain on this brolly. It's got me out of so many problems over the years, so always have a brolly around. Okay, let's see if make sure we've held that brolly up high enough, and we've nailed that focus. Perfect, beautiful. I would throw this into portrait orientation and then very quickly run off a snap. But that light, it will go very, very quickly. I'm just going to make sure the composition hasn't shifted does tend to shift a tiny bit because of the way this L bracket is set up. But I'm going to go straight away for another shot. This time I've just angled the camera down a bit, get a bit more of that reflection going, and I don't need 60 seconds because that light is coming up all the time, so I just need to bring it down to, I'm going to bring it down a little lower than normal, about 25 seconds, because I think there's some real nice texture in that cloud, so let's try and capture it while we can. I took one with the polarizer on. That's the reason why I can't put the lens hood on, is because I've got a polarizer because of the glare. So I've just taken one with the polarizer on, so it reduces the glare, but I'm just going to take another one with the polarizer off, because often I really enjoy the reflections from the sky, and it helps brighten up this dark wood. So it depends whether you're going for a contrast of the dark wood and the bright lights on it, or, as I often like to do, I like to mirror the sky, and in this case I've switched the polarizer off, and later on I've got a choice of the two and see which way I like to go. So I'll put them both up and see what you think, whether you prefer the polarized or the non-polarized version. There's an old railway jetty, I suppose, or groin out there that you can just see, and that was when they used to load, I think it was stone, I'm sure someone will let me know what they used to load onto the boats out there. And it's got a beautiful little grill at the end of it. I did want to get out further onto the groin and take some images, and I might still do that, but while we've got that light out there, then we need to, beautiful light it is too. And again, I think now I might need to start thinking about filters, because that light is quite bright. First of all, I'm just going to adjust the polarizer. It's not doing a lot because we're shooting into the sun, and sometimes you've got to watch out for banding up in the sky in and around here. It darkens with a horrible vignette, but I think that cloud cover is really helping us there. So let's get our grad on. You see the way that is darkening the sky for us beautifully. I'm keeping an eye on the histogram, and you can still see it's still a bit bright for us. So I'm going to reduce this time till I see that it's not clipping anything, and that will give me a 5-second exposure. So I'll give that a test. We'll make sure I'm going to focus on that jetty that's out there. Let's lock that focus, give it a 5-second test. I'm not going to stop with that because I actually want a longer exposure, but I'll just do this as a test and also to capture that beautiful texture that's in that cloud. The choice is I'm going to leave it. In the centre for the time being and decide whether I'm going to crop. This will probably be 16 by 9, but we have a 5-second exposure there. ISO 100 would give us a 2-second exposure, and so with a 6-stop on, that would give us 2 minutes. So it's very easy calculation. Is that with a 6-stop, if you have 1 second, it's 1 minute. And in this case, we've got 2 seconds. So if I throw on a 6-stop, just like this, that will give us a 2 minute exposure. And that's where we are. Whoops. Oh, wow, okay. Got a problem with people running on the jetty. It's creating some shake. So, fingers crossed. So I'm just going to hit cancel when this gentleman gets close to us. I don't want him to ruin it. Okay. And that will be underexposed a touch, but not by a lot. Okay, that worked. I think I'll probably better stick in here because there are a couple of photographers shooting the same thing, and if I go walking out there I'm just going to ruin their shot. So I think what I'll do is throw the longer lens on and just spot out some of those little pieces. And there's a nice little group here in the centre. So I've got to decide whether I want more sky. Okay, let's focus. Focused in, and saying we're still okay for 2 minutes. 16, it's pushing it just a touch, but that's okay. Let's give that a go. And while we've got that light and it's very golden, I'm just going to pop back here. I'm going to do one last very quick lens change, and then it's vignetting dark up here in that sky, so it's just got to watch that. So let's adjust it so that we haven't got that vignette in the sky. There are some people moving out there, but because we're taking several shots, we're hoping that they'll blare out enough for me to take them out. Also focus. Third of the way in. thank you very much for joining me here. Sean Cliff Pier, I'm sure I said earlier, Sean Cliff Pier in Brisbane in Queensland. So here for a little trip, a Christmas trip, and although I brought my camera gear, it wasn't really about photography, just about reconnecting with friends and just enjoying the Christmas period and the downtime, really. But I felt like getting out and shooting today, as I have one other day, and I thought I'd blown it because of the torrential rain, but it seems that the weather gods have smiled on us a little bit, and they've given us some rather pretty clouds to deal with and some rather nice light. So thank you for coming along with us today. I hope you've enjoyed it. You know me, just being out is wonderful. So for me, it's always a joy to get the camera out and just to play around and see what we can create. So I'm happy as Larry, whoever Larry is. So all it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Until next time, see ya.